speaks crowd. All right with you. In today's video, I present this completely homemade countertop drill. You will figure out how to make this drill holder. With car shock absorbers, one simple and easy method. The shock absorbers were in the trash can from the workshop and have been turned into one amazing tool. You can use this vertical drill in your workshop or garage, taking up little space. Now he's about to give his like there, because today's video is top. And don't forget to sign up. Subscribe to our channel. There are many people losing news because it is not registered, as the shock absorber comes too dirty. I'm about to take a whimsical bath with a clean shower. These shock absorbers I rescued from the dumpster of a friend of mine. They are the fundamental pillars for our drill holder. Our Goal Shocks G4. The simpler the shock absorber, less work we will have to run our tool. After cleaning the shock absorbers, I will remove this fairing that surrounds him, because for sure, she would interfere with the operation of our drill holder. To facilitate cutting, I screwed him on the bench. As I was without air, the cut was in the saw arc itself. But contrary to what I imagined, it wasn't much work. Just cut in patience. And to remove the burrs from the cut, I finished the emery finish. I will also saw the tops of the shock absorbers to get those brackets off the car. I also passed the moles on the emery to remove the burrs. So our guide to drill will be almost ready for work. Now it's time to remove the internal oil from the shock absorber. After fixing very well there on the table, I made drill holes in both shock absorbers in this borehole that all the oil will come out for bench drill to work smoothly and fairly. We need to remove all the internal oil from it. Now what will I say? Seems like a joke. But it was the hardest part of building our drill support. We have to pump it out until the oil comes out completely. When you see that the shock absorber rod works softly, is because the oil has been completely removed. No dirt can get inside the shock absorber. So, I will close the holes made with the drill with a piece of sponge, ensuring air entry for the proper functioning of the shock absorber, and to make our homemade countertop stand more beautiful. I will cover the rods with crepe tape and spray paint coating. Drill holder needs a very strong base. I had this wooden plank a foot thick, continues, and 4.5 centimeters. To have the table with a and more robust base, I cut the board 30 centimeters thick by 30 centimeters in length, and remembering that she has a width of 4.5 centimeters. Yes, and finally our 15 millimeter plywood that will support the drill and shock absorbers. They are plywood leftovers that were going to be, and to get strengthened and have good support, I glued them to make support holding drill and piston. The support measures are 26 centimeters long by 21 centimeters thick. I traced the center of the width of the piece, 11.5 centimeters. Now it's time to place 4.5 centimeters on each side. From top to bottom, I pulled the 9 centimeter mark. And again, I pull 4.5 inches marks of the sides. In the 9 centimeter line, I pulled 4.5 inches up. And finally at the bottom, I also pulled another 4.5 centimeters. Is now ready to mark this. To trace the drawing, I made 2.5 centimeter markers on the 4 sides of the piece that I draw where the cut will be. Then the piece is ready. With the help of my circular saw guide, frame the support, and I finished off the corners with the Tico saw. Now it's time to make the throughs of the screws. I marked with 1 sear and 2 mm on all sides of the piece. How is a long hole? We have to minimize the risk of the hole going off its axis. Then I will drill the hole with the thinner drill and gradually thicken the hole. But the real secret is, do not cross the drill once to the other side. Have to drill half on one side and half on the other, until the holes meet inside. I used a threaded screw bar. She is very long, and you can enjoy it throughout the project. Now I am marking the exact position of the bracket on the base. The stand will have two sides, that will pull out of the base, and the other on top of the base. Please fix. Very fine to mark exacts. On project foundation and support, the advantage is that the nail already centralizes the drilling of our drill. I did some tests with glass saw models. To reach the ideal hole, the shock absorbers have the necessary grip for it to work correctly. And to have the perfect shock absorber fit on the stand, we heat a 40 white top without edge. And fit our shock absorber until you touch the end of the, not to lose the square. The thickness of this will give the perfect fit to our shock absorber. Now I can drill the shock absorber hole with the 44mm glass saw. Already on the drill holder, I used a 48mm glass saw. These traits are made to pass
the screws
and give the grips required for drill and shock absorbers, as I am looking for the plumbing accuracy of this tool. I took 50mm water pipe and 20cm long, and I took out approximately 3 mm for it to stay, with this bone crack, so I can fit it into the 48mm hole of the glass saw and leave it in the perfect square. After checking the barrel square, it's time to make the instant glue collage, so I can cut the pipe very close together. To our support. Look how support will look with the screws. Now it's time to drill the base hole. Who will receive the shock absorbers? I took this shock absorber, a screw shop to buy, nuts and arruelas. After tightening the nut, this alley will give the exact plumbing of our shock absorber. See how it will look. I developed this feature to drills. Shelves? As I always do, shelves with invisible brackets. This adjustable base stand will help me and speed up the service. Stay in the video until the end, you will see how it works. Let's support. We'll turn our tool into a speaker drill. Its function is to regular drilling of larger parts. I cut this backrest support piece, 58 centimeters by 10 centimeters, 2 pieces of 15 centimeters by 6 centimeters to the support that will run the pig, and 2 pieces of 10 centimeters by 3 centimeters to better support the sergeant who holds ask. I made a mark on the base, 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters, and went to fix the screws that will serve as a guide and see how the piece got ready for work. For the feet of our drill holder, I cut measurements of 6 centimeters high by 30 centimeters long, and to have a mounting feature on our support. Any bench? I made a centered hole in that recoil and fixed the base foot, leaving a 1 centimeter side recoil for handling. She better. Now it's time to prepare for painting and give one gooded on that base. When I make this type of tool, I research a lot for her to be useful in my work and to help you get new ideas. Now if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel, so I'll know I'm on the way, right, to produce content like this. Now it's all ready for mounting our drill holder. First, I will put the shock absorbers on the holder, but I'm going to do this first inverted edit. So I take advantage of the base of the table to give Pumo and the level, ideal for our drill. I got this little piece of MDF for have support between table base and stand, so I can find the ideal plumb for our tool. With a rubber hammer, I'm going to hit the shock absorbers to have a good fit, and also on the drill holder, to align the table base level, so our shock absorbers are ready for attachment. After the alignment process, now it is time to release the nuts from our shock absorber and turn it to its original position. His fixation will be definitive. We can fix our shock absorber nut well. Now it is time to assemble the 2 screws that will serve as guide to transforming our support. A column drill. With this accessory, I will be able to drill larger parts. And I always make shelves with invisible support, so that side of the drill will be very useful for the execution of my work. To try to get as close as possible to the perfection of the work, I align the drill close to the support base, and with a meter I check the measurements of the square. After positioning the piece, let's take the first test. See how great the hole turned out. Now the only way to know if you are really liking this video is giving your like, then go liking there. To assist the work of our bench drill, I put 2 woods and made the square with them. Also, I made this rebate so as not to touch the drill jaw. This small square will serve as support and also to line up our drill. In drill adjustment, with it I guarantee an ideal square. After checking the box, I put the drill for door drilling. That mug drill really is. I made a through hole in the table. To limit depth and regulate our drilling, I drilled a hole in the center of the shock absorbers and put this nut, locker, has a thread inside and will give precise adjustments to my eyes. I got this mug drill hole. I will use it to make the first markup from the hinge hole. See in this detail the ease of the tool. After marking the hole in the piece, the 2 shims that are stuck with the nut. Regulate the part drilling limit so I can brag and make severals. With the same adjustment, when I make this kind of tool, I research a lot to know if it is useful in my work and to help you get new ideas. Now, if you are liking the video, subscribe to the channel so I'll know I'm on the way, right, to produce content like this. And see how perfect the hinge installation turned out. I will test our support for you one more time. See how that turned out. I have one excellent video on how to make one guide for circular saw with perfect cuts. What's in this video here on screen? And thanks to you who watched the video to the end and success. Thanks.